A little bit of housekeeping. I just wanted to inform you, in case you did not know, that the trial is now on a break until the 16th of this month. They're taking a whole week off. Not really sure why. Maybe it's because it's a long trial and they just want to give people a break. But they'll be back on the 16th, and then there's 2 more weeks to go. Now, I think it could actually end within that second week left somewhere, but they're for sure going to have at least a week and a half, because don't forget, you have cross. That's going to take at least 2 to 3 days, and then there'll be a redirect, I would imagine, and then they'll move on to some of her witnesses. And then I'm not sure if there's closing statements or not in a civil trial. This is all kind of new to me. As far as how these proceed, I would imagine there probably are. Someone in the comments, I'm sure, will know. So there's a whole week off. And in my opinion, this was a bad place to leave, because the fact that, we left on her testimony, which was highly overdramatic, and I'm going to get into that. But I wanted to go over this. After the trial ended yesterday, Team JD came out with a statement. His truth, the truth, is the same no matter the environment in which it has been presented, which is true. Depp's statements have been the same for years. Heard's haven't been. They've changed and evolved over time. She's had years to perfect this. And he says so here in his own statement. So they put this out yesterday. As Mr. Depp's counsel correctly predicted in their opening statements last month, Ms. Heard did indeed deliver the performance of her life in her direct examination. While Ms. Heard's stories have continued to grow and grow new and convenient details, Mr. Depp's recollections have remained exactly the same throughout the 6 painful years since the first allegations were made. His truth, the truth, is the same no matter the environment in which it has been presented. The upcoming cross-examination from Mr. Depp's team will be most telling and will certainly highlight the many fallacies Ms. Heard has now attempted to pass off as fact throughout her convoluted testimony. Spokesperson for Johnny Depp. Very good response. They had to do something because, like I said, we're all for a week. We're all for a week. And a lot of the headlines are, of course, taking what she said and running with it, which I told you was going to happen. The difference, though, that sucks is there's a whole week for them to run with it, and that's not good. But I do think a lot of people, hopefully, saw through her performance, and that's the thing, right? Her performance when she was on the stand. I think most people did. Heck, even CNN is dunking on her. A little inauthentic defense attorney breaks down AH's testimony. CNN is dunking on her. Okay? If that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what will. Because this is the garbage of garbage news sites. If there was the perfect example of garbage, the garbage of garbage, the high standard of garbage, it would be CNN. Like, they are the garbage network. But even they're dunking on AH, calling it an inauthentic testimony. But it really doesn't matter what I think or you think or CNN thinks. What matters is, what did the jury think? What did they think? Because they're right there, right next to her, actually. She looked at them the entire time, trying to form some kind of personal connection with them. She's a manipulator. She knows what she's doing. A lot of body language experts coming out and talking about this. I find these breakdowns pretty interesting. From tearless sobs to hunching in her seat and addressing the jury directly, body language expert analyzes AH on the stand during $100 million blockbuster defamation trial with ex-JD. So tearless sobs, that's the really interesting thing. And you have to wonder, what was the jury thinking? I'm no jury expert, but I mean, when I'm looking at someone crying without any tears, I'm really raising my eyebrow. Like, what is going on here? A lot of really high-def pictures capturing this, not one tear. She did actually manage to push one out yesterday. I was surprised because this really highlighted what an awful actress she is, in my opinion. I saw some people saying that she was giving an Oscar performance, and I very much disagree with that. I thought she was giving it a very over-the-top B-movie performance. But like I said, it doesn't really matter what I think. What does the jury think? Were they buying this bullshit? Because she was doing all of the facial expressions and sounds of crying, sniffing, but she never produced any tears. Only one time did I see a tear roll down her face. One time. Her eyes never turn red, ever. There's no redness in her eyes. If you were up there getting all emotional, upset, and crying, her eyes would be red, but they're not. The lack of tears, in my opinion, really messed her up. What is a tearless sob? I've never heard of this before, but even the body language expert doesn't call this out. I'm really confused by that. Is this a real thing? Tearless sobs? Because I've never seen that. I've never even heard of that expression before today. Have you? You know what a tearless sob is? Oh, don't worry. We'll take care of it in post, Miss Heard. You know what that means? That basically means after they're done with the cameras, they'll add the special effects. Back in the day, they would cut filming, and then they would drop some Visine in your eyes and then re-roll the cameras. So then you actually would have tears rolling down your face. Unless, of course, you can't cry on command, which any good actor should be able to do, in my opinion. So, I find the stretching and defense of this kind of funny. But here's what she had to say. I highlighted it because I was curious. What does a body language expert say about this? Said Heard appeared to crumple her chin and tearlessly sob during the testimony to highlight her emotional state. Judy James said the cameras made it hard to pick out if they formed in her eyes or if the eyes had reddened. This, like everything, is a complicated point. When guilty people perform tears, they often try to hide their dry eyes, poking them with fingers, squeezing them shut tight, or prodding them with a hanky. When they do cry for real, the streaming tears are often prompted by self-pity. Amber's seemed to be truncated, but is that acting or bad acting or the innocent, complex response of someone with mixed emotions? Amber's facial expressions became more animated when she started to speak about the details. You know, the really interesting thing that's going on, I can't show you the pictures because YouTube will just hit the video, are people that are real victims sharing pictures of themselves after they had faced someone that is accused, someone that did the things that she's saying that JD did. And you can really see just how battered they are, but she's fine. That James Corden video is damning. They did address it yesterday. It's kind of, well, they have to try to get ahead of it. Apparently, you can use an ice pack to take down all kinds of swelling, even a broken nose, all kinds of stuff. It's amazing. I didn't know ice packs were that effective. So, this has been wild, man. This has been a wild ride. But we get a little bit of a break. And I'll be following what the media and social media is saying over the week. I want to cover that because I want to see how their story changes as people take apart that testimony that she did for the past 2 days, because I promise you, that's exactly what's going to happen. Are they going to spin it in pro or negative for her? That's the question I have. Right now, I can't tell, because when you have CNN dunking on it, I don't know where it's going to go. Anyway, justice for JD. Share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell. Please like the video, comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, make sure to follow me over on Twitch. I do watch parties, play video games over there. They're always fun. Follow me over there and come hang out. Also, make sure you subscribe to YellowFlash, my other channel. There's a link to that in the description as well. I do a lot of live streams over there that I don't do on this channel, usually smaller and a little bit more personal. So make sure you follow me over there and sign up.